going on. So basically, I have to like watch this fucking crazy shit, surreal, like clockwork orange type video, and just like nod and like, great, yeah, he's hitting the old guy, you know. Yo, what's going on? Welcome to episode 150. Wow, we are balling. 150 of the podcast. Thank you guys for 150 great episodes. Yeah, fuck, thanks. I don't know how many it is on YouTube, but all you listeners got, quite a few more listeners on the audio than we do on YouTube. But I appreciate all you guys. Again, thank you so much. Yeah, tonight or this episode, I just give a quick update what's going on in Japan and tell story time, DMV, driver's license renewal story, which is okay, which I had to go through. So I get to that, but before I do, boom, hit the like button, boom, hit the subscribe button, boom, hit every fucking button. I gotta start saying it. Leave a comment as well. Comments help too. Thank you, regular commenters, for that. I need to leave a comment because I didn't do it last time. But please, you leave a comment if you're listening. Just take a second. Just say what's up, Akil. Hey, something, whatever the fuck you can do. Leave a rating, whatever platform you're doing it on. It all helps. It all helps. Like if you get any joy from this stuff, just take a second, do something. I'm putting a guilt trip on you. If you're doing stuff, keep doing what you're doing. If you don't do anything, do something now. Hit a button, hit a subscribe, hit a bell, hit a fucking star, hit something for me, please. I know I gotta start asking for it because I think, I stopped. And I know all the YouTubers say if they don't ask for it, people don't do it. It's human nature. I get it, but I gotta guilt trip you. Just hit something. Okay, so fuck it. All right, whatever. I talked long enough. Enjoy. Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 150 of the podcast. Episode 150 on the late night. No alcohol for me. I'm doing what am I doing? An apple cider vinegar cleanse. So you probably won't see any alcohol from me from the next couple episodes. I'm living that clean, healthy lifestyle for a couple weeks. Just recalibrate, acclimate is the word I was thinking of. But yeah. No, again, my apologies for the listeners and the few watchers on YouTube. I haven't been as active. I've just been caught up with a bunch of stuff. I'll explain why in a minute, but just getting the year started and getting everything on the page I need it to be on takes a bit of effort. It's taking a bit of effort right now. So, by the way, if my face is all shiny and glistening, I just got out the bath, got my goatee all sharp, and put a bunch of coconut oil on. So if you see me shining, that's the reason why. But this episode, it's gonna be a brief one. I'm gonna tell a quick story time episode, and on this, well, before I get into that, I got some news updates on what's the situation going on in Japan. As I alluded to on the previous episode, what I thought would happen over the next couple of weeks, over the next couple of weeks is kind of playing itself out. Pretty much on the news today, we're kind of hitting all-time highs for the number of daily deaths, serious cases, things like that. Medical people are freaking out. I was just watching on the news today that people are starting to die in their, people are starting to die in their homes, die in the fucking ambulance, like shit like that. You might be like, die in the ambulance, like die in their homes. Well, because it's becoming an issue in Japan that as far as the COVID situation goes, if my information is correct, public and private high schools, hospitals are not on the same page. So basically, private hospitals who kind of don't want to risk infection of their existing patients are kind of refusing to accept COVID patients. So it's not like in the West. The thing I told you, having a medical emergency in Japan is kind of a scary thing because, like in America, for example, if you got a gunshot, you stabbed, you run into the emergency room, you're like, yo, fucking help me. And then they come in and help you and they figure the rest out later. Japan is not really like that. Like, hospitals tend to refuse people quite a bit here. So, so like if if you're like fucked up and you're in a hospital, you have to find the hospital that's willing to admit you And sometimes that can take a while. And especially in this type of situation, it's taking a while, for some of these hospitals to admit people. So pretty much like, you've got fuck, like, yeah, exactly what it sounds like. Hold on one second. Let me check this thing. Okay, I'm thinking this is all right. I got a little nervous about my line of my head, but hopefully this is all right. Sorry for checking and interrupting the flow. But yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like, I was watching the news earlier today where tonight, where they were saying basically the first guy, I guess first person, I don't know, was in, told, if I remember the story correctly, this guy was told, to self-isolate at home because they didn't have a place for him. Self-isolated at home, got worse, pretty much. They were like, all right, they picked him up in an ambulance and were taking him to the hospital, but there wasn't a hospital that would admit him. So they had to ride around for 3 hours to try and find a hospital for him. Finally found one. When they got him to the hospital, he was dead. That's an anecdotal situation, but this is the type of shit that, happens in Japan because there's a certain protocol and a correct way of doing things. It's not like, you'll give him the hospital, put him over there, we'll look after him. If his situation gets worse, we'll move some shit around. It's not really like that here. So, and this is the type of shit that I kind of expected would start happening around this time. And I think it's going to get worse in the next couple of weeks, especially with older people or things like that. So that's why I'm just trying to like get my resources together here in Japan, because I don't really rely on the government or hospitals or these type of facilities ability to really like coordinate shit in this type of situation. Rod, you asked me about the vaccine situation as well. Is totally fucked. I was watching on the news today, like they were talking about basically to order the vaccines you need to be refrigerated. So one of the refrigeration companies was like, yeah, we got orders from all over the world. We got Belgium, we got America, we got this country, we got that country, but the Japanese government hasn't really reached out to us yet, so we haven't had any orders from Japan, even though it's a Japanese company that makes this shit. So it's like shit like that. Like, shit needs to be totally fucking, organized and coordinated to the utmost degree before anything happens here. So, all this shit is kind of what I kind of figured might start happening. So I've just been scrambling around. I was running all over the place. Like yesterday I had a day off. It wasn't even a day off. Just running all over the place, just trying to get food together, get supplies together, do some other like, things that I need to do just in case. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but just in case, we have another lockdown. We have to self-isolate. Some shit happens. Like, my family is kind of in a secure situation. So, that's kind of what I've been up to. At the same time, just keeping my eye on economic news and taking time for myself to chill out so that I don't, get all rattled or whatever. So I stay level headed in the situation, which is cool, but my priorities kind of shifted there the past few weeks. So plus football, it's playoffs, football season. So I gotta get that into, but that's pretty much what's going on here. Moving forward, yeah, I'm expecting, more. Wherever you're at, you'll probably see more news about Japan. It's probably gonna kick off more heavy in the next week or two. I was even watching on news the other day. A dude was like, "Yeah, we're gonna start getting casualties, more casualties over the next couple of weeks," and that's what I think is gonna start hitting the headlines in the next couple of weeks. Just because the number hit over 100 deaths today, which again seems like it's sad. It seems like a small amount compared to what's going on in other countries, but for Japan, for me, that's kind of like the number. I feel like, that number is going to get to 2 and 3 in the next couple of weeks, and then Japanese people are going to start freaking out. So, or at least the government's going to start freaking out. So, I don't know. That's what's really going on with that situation. Pretty much, I'm just trying to stay ahead of the game. That's all it is. So, that's that. Moving on to the Olympic talk. And last episode, basically I said, I'm thinking the Olympics won't happen, but you never know what politicians are going to do. Well, a news story broke. I read an article today. My wife was talking to me about it in the car earlier because she read the article too. She almost got into an accident because she was like, oh shit. And I was like, almost fucking crashed into a goddamn fence. I'm thinking I'm hitting a puppy or something. But, but basically, yeah. So I don't know if it's on purpose, probably on purpose, now that I think about it. But information is leaking to the media that the Liberal Democratic Party, which is the main ruling party, has a lot of people leaks information to the press, so that anonymous leaks, of course. And what I read was basically, it was saying that pretty much almost everyone in the ruling party knows that the Olympics are pretty much going to be canceled, but they're putting a face on it for the to keep themselves first in line for the next drawing of the Olympics, which will be in 2032. So pretty much, Japan's like, being a good little student, sitting up in the front of the class, like, hey, we're trying our best. We're going to fucking, do this thing until, and gracefully bow out. Probably, similar, I imagine similar to last year, maybe April, May-ish, maybe. But they're like, we're gonna do it until the last possible moment to show their commitment to the games, so that when the next voting time comes, they'll be first in line. But pretty much everyone already knows that it's a no go, no starter. I've seen on Japanese news today, information is starting to leak. Doubt is starting to leak about it, the possibility of it, like in a few different places, which is a big fucking deal. Any open doubt about this thing is kind of like the stamp, the nail in the coffin. Like, it's not going to happen, because you remember, atmosphere, mood is very important. So once the media starts leaking that type of information, it's kind of, I think, done to kind of prep, warm up, massage the public a little bit for when it actually happens, in the coming months or so that the people are finally like, yeah, the Olympics are probably not going to happen. Yeah, of course they shouldn't happen. Yeah, of course not. Why the fuck are they still doing this? Why are they still doing it? And then the government can be like, okay, fine, we hear you people. We'll go ahead and cancel the games. Like, you can't just go like, oh, it's canceled, without the atmosphere, the mood of the public already changed. And so I think, I personally, I'm always a skeptic. I think that's where these kind of sudden leaks are coming, media leaks. Like, you don't just leak shit like that without a general consensus. I think, because the media and politicians work really hand in hand like that. There's really not that much investigative journalism as far as politics goes here. So, I think this is done for political purposes, especially because the prime minister is really popular person right now. So just leaking this information is kind of a convenient way to get the ball rolling, domestically, and get people on board with the fact that the games are going to be canceled. I was watching, before I took a bath, I was watching the news. It does kind of suck for the athletes, especially the Japanese athletes, who I didn't really think about it until now, who've been really working, their asses off for a long time. Because, being able to perform in front of like your home country fans, that's like the fucking dream right there for any amateur athlete. But yeah, like, especially like the sports Japan's strong in, like judo and fucking swimming and whatever the fuck else. Like, but yeah, it kind of sucks. So I don't know. My heart goes out to the athletes who've kind of busted their ass and given their blood, sweat, and tears, and they got really nothing to show for it, because, I would imagine the way things are going, even the breakdancing dude, I guess Japan breakdancing was supposed to premiere in these Olympics, I think, and, the top breakdancer is Japanese, so I don't know, whatever. It is what it is. Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much that on that front. That's the latest information that I've heard from, like, today. I'm recording this on the 22nd, so January 22nd. So you heard it here from me first. Whenever the fuck I upload this, probably tomorrow. But yeah. Story time. Story time, people. So one of the things that I had to do and then I'll get out of here. So one of the things I had to do yesterday was go to the DMV, because I had to renew my driver's license. I was texting with one of my buddies the other day, and one of the guys I went to Fukuoka with, Of course, I changed their names, and I forgot what fucking name I forgot what fucking name I used for him. But anyway, so one of the guys I went to Fukuoka with, we were texting back and forth, and about me going to renew my license, and it was like, fuck. I was basically like, fuck, the whole day, the whole morning, because no, that's why I mentioned brought him up, because he asked like why did I have to go renew my license? Because I have a gold license. If you don't know, like in Japan, you have after you get your license, if you're a good driver for I think several years, I forgot how long, your license changed from a blue license to a gold license, which is like a gold sticker license. Basically means you're a safe driver. You get reductions on fucking insurance and shit like that, right? It's funny thing, a lot of Japanese people have driver's licenses, they have gold licenses because they just never drive, so if you just use your driver's license as an ID and you never drive, you get a gold license, and so I know a lot of my students who just like, I can't drive for shit, but I got a gold license, and they call it a paper driver here. So I had a gold, but basically there was this one intersection near where I live that basically, after dropping my son off to daycare, I would go back that way, and I had to turn right at the intersection and go straight. But I didn't notice that there was a sign saying that you can't turn right from 7 to 9 a.m. Didn't notice that, and the police popped out on me. Like, they wait for people to turn and use the intersection some days. So, yeah, I got caught, I got a ticket. Getting a ticket means, once my license is renewed, I lose my gold license. My gold license. So, but then I got another ticket, the same intersection several months later, because it was near 9 o'clock, but I wasn't paying attention to the time. I forgot what I was doing. I wasn't dropping them off. I was doing something. I forgot. But, I just wasn't paying attention to the time. It was just like just before 9 o'clock, like 10 minutes before 9 o'clock. And the police busted me again. And so I just learned my lesson, like just never use that intersection in the morning at all. I'm just like, fuck that intersection, basically. And even it's fine, but in the morning, I'm traumatized. So I'm just like, man, fuck that intersection. So that's a pretext for why I had to go renew my license. And because I had, a ticket or points on my license, means I had to take the safety class. Ooh. So if you have a gold license, it takes 30 minutes to get your shit and get out. It's just like boom, 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 you won. That's it. Me, I had to take the 2-hour safety class. So there basically, like in my area, there are 2 times you can go. You can go for the 8:30 appointment, and you can go for like the 11:30. So it was like from 8:30 to 11:30, and from 11:30 to 2:30. So I was like, it was my day off. I had some other shit I wanted to do. I was like, let me just go get it done, and then I can maybe go back and get some rest, which of course didn't happen because, a trip to Costco got thrown at me, but whatever, it's for the family. So I was like, cool. A second trip to Costco because there was some other shit that we need to stock up on. So I was like, all right, fine, fuck it, whatever, I'll go. And a few other things thrown in between there that I had to run around and do, but so I was fucking exhausted by the time I got back home. But basically, so anyway, so I get up at 6 something, I travel over there. I get there like 8 o'clock in the morning because I don't know. I've never renewed my license there. When I was in Tokyo, I had to go through the safety class the first time when I got my Japanese driver's license. That safety class was fucking crazy too. Like, I just remember sitting there just like, the fuck is going on? Like, because it was just like about 10 years ago. So I could understand maybe half of what the guy was saying. The videos are fucking crazy. The safety video, I just remember I was trying to find it on YouTube. I found one safety video, which is kind of like about drunk driving. It's not that batshit crazy like the first one I saw the first time a while back, but it's still funny. It's about a guy who drinks and drives and like hits a dude and has to go to jail. It's all in Japanese, but if you just want some context to like what these videos are like, the first one I saw, like, when I was looking for some of these online, I didn't want to show you guys. It's really graphic. It's just like they either like they're really melodramatic with terrible acting and really Japanese, like it'll be like a quiet moment and like, oh someone freaks out or something happens, or like it'll just be like random footage of people just getting hit by cars for like I never took driver's ed like when I was in America, so I don't know if that's the type of shit you have to watch in American driver's ed, but like I was like, geez, basically, it's just like drive recording videos, so which is all taxis. So it's like you're just watching taxis hit people for like 20 minutes. Like, it's like the fuck, man. But anyway, I digress. But the one 10 years ago was like, it was something about like, I don't know, like in case of natural disasters, if you're driving a car and like if there's an old person swerving in the road on a bicycle, like how not to hit them, and like so it's like an old actor like swerving around the middle of the road and the person tries to go around them and the old guy like falls over and on the ground the guy's like like in the camera like as he like runs over this old dude in Japanese. Like it's fucking crazy. It was fucking. I just remember just sitting there like, the fuck is going on? But that class was a lot smaller, so of course, like the instructor's like staring at me the whole time to make sure like I'm kind of understand what's going on. So basically, I have to like watch this fucking crazy shit, surreal like Clockwork Orange type video, and just like nod and like, great, yeah, he's hitting the old guy, so so that like the fucking instructor can kind of leave me alone basically. So that was interesting, but that was I think 2 hours as well, or an hour or some shit. Like I don't even remember, I don't want to forget. But this one was 2 hours. So I digress though. So I get there at 8 something and I gotta go through this big ass line because so basically I get there and they send you this little like paper slip, letting you know like what you gotta do when you gotta go and stuff like that. So I went, and I went, of course I had to double check like this line with the staff that's there, and they're like, oh, it's all confusing. I'm like, look, just look at the fucking notice, and like, oh yeah, this line. So it's this big zigzagging ass line, which of course is social distance, great, but it's social distance front to back. The people like zigzagging, so you'll be social distance with someone in front of you, and then like someone's like right next to you, and just like, god damn it, So whatever, I'm like, whatever, everyone's got on masks, so but still, you got people coughing and shit, so it's like, okay, whatever. So zigzag all the way and you gotta get to the front where it's this machine that spits out your form, and I was a little bit nervous about the machine. I was, listening to music the whole time, but still I don't want to be like the one foreign person who like doesn't know how to work the machine. I hold everything up and like I raise my hand and the staff has to come over and show me how to print it. But it's pretty simple, like machine, like you just basically put in your card, put in your PIN number, which is basically part of your driver's license number. So once you put that in, then you just confirm it, and it just spits out your license, your form, and then a little slip, which is your confirmation number again, just in case you forget what it is. Then you go to the next, then you get that, you go to the next station, and then I'm like, I can clearly speak Japanese, but you got the guy who's like, ready. He's like ready to help me. I appreciate it, but I'm clearly talking. Sometimes if you speak Japanese, you get in these situations where Japanese people get so amped to help you out. They're ready to help you out in English, and they're just like focused on like, okay, I'm ready to go talk to this motherfucking English. And it doesn't register to them that you're speaking Japanese to them, and you can understand everything that they tell you in Japanese, and they don't have to try that hard to speak English to you, but they just want to try. So you just gotta, I just let it happen. Like, I'm just like, okay, fine, dude. Thank you. But I was because I was trying to talk to the guy in Japanese, and he was getting all confused with what I was saying, and he was trying to talk to me in English, and his English isn't so good. So, I could either stop him and explain to him, like, you don't have to speak Japanese to me. You can, you don't have to speak English to me. I can understand Japanese, but which makes a scene and it just takes more time. So I just got to sit there and just listen to the motherfucker, So basically, he's like, I'm like, okay, じゃあ次はどこに行けばいいですか? Like, so, okay, I got my form. Where should I go next? And he's like, so, okay, form, right? Form over there. number. It's like areas with numbers on it, so it's like 2, 3, 4, basically. She's like, okay, area 2, right form, area 3, 4, go there. And I'm like, but he's saying it in English, like 2. And I'm like, 2, second floor, Nikai. And he's like, no, 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 2, 2. I'm like, okay, there's the 2 right there. Gotcha. And so I'm like, all right, thank you. And he's like, and, he's a nice guy, trying hard, like not clowning the guy at all. But sometimes I just wish people in those situations would kind of realize that I got it. Just you can talk to me in Japanese, but whatever. Maybe he wanted to practice his English skills to help people who couldn't speak Japanese. So I take that into account, and I don't judge. I'm just like, all right, cool, whatever. I mean, I'm your guinea pig, man. Fine, go for it, go crazy. Now I'm like that. When you're learning Japanese, though, sometimes it can be frustrating because if you want to try, you're kind of butting heads with people sometimes. If you're trying to practice your Japanese and people are trying to practice their English, it can be kind of frustrating because you go through those situations over and over again. I know I was kind of like that, and I used to have friends who were just like, fuck you, I'm speaking Japanese, don't talk to me in English. But now I'm kind of at peace with everything. I'm just like, whatever, I'm your opportunity to practice English, cool, go crazy. Either language is fine with me. So whatever. So I go to this booth to, I have my own. Actually, I fucked up. I didn't realize later until I went to the bank I had an erasable pen, and so I was like not supposed to use that at all. But whatever. I fill out the form. Then I go to the eye test section, and eye test in Japan, wait until another line. Oh no, I gotta go get my tax stamp. So I go to the line, get a tax stamp, put the stamps on there. Then I go to the next section, which is the eye test section. Now, if you don't know about like an eye test, a Japanese eye test, just to let you know, a Japanese eye test is like in America, we have letters, your ABC, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Japan is different. It's interesting in Japan because it's like a little C, but with the C is like almost a small, if you can see, it's like a circle with like a small little part cut out of it. And basically on every eye test, what you're going to do is it's going to be like up like this, or down, left or right. And you have to just say where the little opening is. That's all it is, right? So, and of course it gets smaller and smaller every time. So of course it was up, down, left, right. And she was like, okay, fine. And I have to go to the next section. And I get there, and I think then I had, they checked my document or everything because it had a printout of my driver's license. I don't know how it is in America now, but they have an IC chip in my driver's license. So when the form that I got was like basically a copy of my driver's license with all my information from the IC chip. So as I went along, like I got my physical stamps, I filled it out, my name, and all the other stuff, and all the checks to make sure that I had everything done. And then when I got to the final area, they were like, okay, let me double check your face. Let me get some other ID to make sure it's you. And then give me your old license. Then I waited to go into the class. And then they're like, okay, the class starts at, I think it was like 9:45, right? So I was like, okay, fuck. So 9:45 until 11:45, I'm in this fucking class, So of course it's a big classroom. I'm kind of early. So I just go straight for the window all the way to the, kind of not all the way to the back, just to be obvious, but just near the window. So I'm not like around, people. I got some air ventilation coming in. I'm the least likely to get infected by something. Of course, everyone's wearing a mask, but so the class is like, it's this dude in his like probably 50s, older 50s, typical DMV guy, and just talking in Japanese. And so we had to watch this, of course, a safety video. And I alluded to it before, like this video was just like, it was what, inochi wa hitotsu, like there's only one life, so it was basically like, don't be a jackass when you're driving. And basically I just had to sit there for the first, I don't even know, it was like a 45-minute video. It was long as fuck, but it was at least 20 minutes of just like taxis hitting people, like just fucking people up, like, just videos of like intersection crashes and people, taxi drivers doing stupid shit. And it's just like the driver's like, oh fuck, like, runs a red light, runs a stop sign and just crashes into someone. And hits an old lady who comes out of nowhere. just like, just like, what the fuck? I mean, no one's dying in these, but it's just like, dude, come on. Like, I'm sleepy. I'm not trying to see this shit. And, but you just gotta take it. Just gotta sit there, and like, don't. Then the bad acting comes, like, don't. You gotta stop before the white line. If you don't stop before the white line, a bicycle can come out, and the person like gets hit by the car and falls down all terribly, and it's just so bad. But but so bad it's comical. I just gotta sit there and just like take it. It's just surreal. I just gotta take it. It's like, okay, fine, I'm here. Might as well enjoy the fucking crazy Japanese DMV ride. So then after that, I think we take a break. No, then we do some fucking dumbass test, where I know it's pointless, So I had a pencil, and he's like, okay, I didn't even bother really reading the sentences. I just had to pretend like I was kind of paying attention. It's like, circle this if you do this, or whatever, just fucking whatever. XO, whatever. Fuck, I don't give a fuck. I know I'm not going to turn this in, and check your answers if you do this, but you mean this, and I wasn't even listening to what he was talking about. And then I didn't ball it, balling it up would be disrespectful, but I kind of just folded it up and just threw it somewhere, and then we took a break. I got some like this Japanese candy that's pretty good. Just I needed something to chew on, just to fucking. I was getting hungry because I've been there since like 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's like 11 o'clock right now, and I'm just like, fuck. I haven't eaten anything all morning. I mean, I ate before I left because I knew like I wouldn't be able to eat anything. I'm starting to get hungry, so it's like this chewable soft like yuzu. Well, you heard me talk about yuzu before. Yuzu candy is really good. So yeah, so get back in there. Then we get into the booklet, and I'm just like, oh gosh, we talk about like road rage, because road rage is like a big thing in Japan right now. So we get 15-20 minutes of road rage conversation and what the penalties are. And then I'm like, okay, all right, we got like 20 minutes left to go. It's not so bad. I got it. The last 15-20 minutes, that motherfucker, it took a chunk out of me, because I guess like they were just waiting for the people to finish on time and finish the licenses. So they got through all the materials, but it turned into the fucking, not the comedy hour, the fucking DMV guy Japanese talk show, basically. And the guy, because the guy just, he goes off for like 20 minutes. And even the people who were trying to look like they were, paying attention were just like, fuck, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm happy I had a face mask on, because I'm just like, oh shit, I'm just like, I'm like the dude in Get Out, just like, oh, fuck, because he's just like talking about like, smartphone, it's just like the Japanese, he's telling us in Japanese, of course, but he's like, hey, smartphones are fun, right? I know, I like my smartphone. I like talking on my smartphone. But, if you talk on your smartphone, and you get caught by the police, you can get a ticket. Just a little while ago, there was a guy, he was on his phone. And he was just checking it. He got a phone call. And he answered the phone, and he was driving. He didn't pay attention. And guess what happened? A lady came out. He hit the lady. The police come in, and they're like, hey, why did you hit the lady? And he's like, well, I don't know. I didn't see her. It's like, why didn't you see her? Well, I don't know. What were you doing? Why weren't you paying attention? You were on your phone, weren't you? Yeah, I was on my phone. And then he went to jail. He got a ticket. And it was a difficult situation. And he went through situations like this for like fucking 20 minutes. You think if you're parked, this guy, it was nighttime, and then he was messing around with his navigation system, and then he realized something was wrong. He stopped by the police. The police was like, hey, you hit something. What's this? And he's like, I don't know. I didn't hit anything. I didn't see anything. He's like, well, what were you doing? Let's go back and investigate. He goes back and investigates. He finds a dead body. Look, I mean, it's not a funny situation, but he's like, the guy hit a guy back, a while back, like 200 meters back. He didn't realize it. The guy's dead. I'm just like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck am I doing here? So after that, finally, I got my license. After 20 minutes of that shit, I'm just like, that was kind of rough. Then I just get my license and get the fuck out of there, and then I'm good for the next, I think, 3 years. I'm good. So after 3 years, if I'm clean, then I think I can get a gold license again. I just go back for a 30-minute course, and then I get a gold license again. Hopefully, because fucking hell, like, yeah. But like I was talking to a colleague about it today, a coworker about it today. Like, I was telling him I had to go to DMV, and I was like, "Yeah, you should get your license. If you're American, you probably heard me telling DMV stories before. I've had enough DMV story right now. If you want me to tell the one how I got my Japanese license, I can retell it, or go into more detail about it. Just let me know, questionsforakil@gmail.com, if you want me to, or just leave a comment again in the video. So my bad, Rod and Joshua, for being late on the comments. Again, you kind of self-explanatory what I've been up to these past few weeks. So I'm still haven't gotten in like full podcast mode, especially with everything going on. Like right now, I'm kind of in like I'm on swivel. I'm on swivel right now, so I'm not really, family time, on swivel, getting shit ready, just checking up on what's going on in America, and just work. I'm just kind of, just trying to keep myself on kilter, keep myself on level, balancing on the ball, if you will. And part of that is me not taking stuff too seriously. So that's kind of what it is. But yeah. So if you want me to retell about my first time getting my license here, I can kind of do that. But just in general, from what I know, I think a lot of the Western countries, as in England, Canada, I want to say Australia, don't have to take a practical exam to get your foreign license transferred over to Japan. Americans do. But it's not a big deal. I was trying to explain to my colleagues, it really isn't. All you gotta do, just Google fucking transfer your license, or transfer your license, not get a Japanese license, but something, transfer American license Japan, some shit like that, and it'll come up. So I forgot what my coworker put in this morning, but whatever, it'll come up. You'll find it. But it's not that complicated. It's not that difficult, and I could give you guys some tips if you haven't heard me talk about it before. Just let me know in a comment, and in the next episode I'll be sure to plop it in there. So all right, that's about it for me. It's getting pretty late. I need to, I don't know, do something, snack on something. And I shouldn't be snacking late at night, but fuck it, I want to snack on something before I go to bed. So all right, y'all, I'll holler at you next time. Peace.